Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and Cinnamon, for our weekly stitching update. And it's Monday, November 4th, I think? Yeah, I think so. So I'm here to share what I've been up to this week, stitching-wise. And it's a little different than I had planned, but still good. So first off, I have a tiny bit of haul. I had a gift card to spend that I won on a giveaway over at Country Cross Stitcher here on Flosstube. And I believe I first met her online from the Golden Kite forum way back when I was more involved in that forum. And then once I started with Flosstube, there's only so much time to spend online. Don't knock my stuff over, please, Kitty. Stop. Anyways, so that was fun. To win that. So it was a 1, 2, 3 Stitch gift card, and because of this pattern that I got recently, the Crazy Wonderful Owl family, I wanted to get something that was more modeled. So I got some 28 count Lugana in Glacier by Picture This Plus, and I think this will look really nice. It's a little bit more green than I was expecting it to be. I was thinking it is sort of aqua, but like a light blue-green, and that's definitely not right. It is more like that. And it's like a greenish blue, so if you compare it to this, it is more green than the cover picture of the background. I got the no background version. On purpose because I wanted something interesting. So it is greener than what this is, but I think it's still going to be nice, and I'm excited about that. So it's an even weave. Where's the top? The cover. There it is. Yeah, it is a 28 count even weave at Lugana. So, and there's like there's a white patch, not white, but a lighter patch right here that I'm going to want underneath the owls. I think I'll probably stitch it this way so that more of the owls are covering this lighter patch, and then the more splotchy parts are in the background, in the sky part. So that's my plan for that. And I had one viewer, I'm sorry, I forget who it was, what your name was, who said she was going to start an owl pattern as well, probably like a New Year's Day start, so that's a distinct possibility for my New Year's Day start. I have lots of other things I've been wanting to start that all are contenders for New Year's Day. Maybe I'll have lots of New Year's Day starts. So that's a definite contender for a New Year's Day start, so I think that'll be fun. And then the other thing I got to finish up the gift card, because the fabric wasn't quite everything, is a little Bent Creek Thankful, Grateful, Blessed, a little owl pattern that I think would be nice to do for the first grade teacher that my daughter did not get, that my sons had previously, because the first grade class every year does the Thanksgiving feast in their classroom, so I thought that would be appropriate for, and we have owls as our school mascot, so I thought it would be appropriate for to give the Thanksgiving-y themed one to a first grade teacher, since they are the ones who do the Thanksgiving stuff in class. Like last year I did, the kindergarten teacher had the owl, the Bent Creek owl with the alphabet, and it said hoot in the middle, which was perfect because you're definitely learning your letters and sounds in kindergarten. So that's the one I'm thinking of doing sometime before. That will be a new start at some point next year, but it'll need to be done before like April. So I've got some time on that one because it's a nice cute one, and it'll be another one I can do a color conversion with the fancy floss that I already have. So I'm looking forward to that. And speaking of that, if you may have caught my color convert with me video that I did on Tuesday, I believe, last week, which was for this Bloomtopia Sal. I put that together, and in case you didn't catch it, I'm planning to do 28 count Lugana and I believe ivory. This was a little cut that I received from think this was from Debbie Duarte from a Lizzie Kate kit that she didn't want the linen. I think she prefers Ada. And most of the Lizzie Kate fabric she gave me was linen, but I noticed this was even weave, and it actually matched some other Lugana ivory that I had for one of my other pieces, so I knew for sure that that's what it was. So I did a color convert video last week. Is this all of them in there? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. And I don't know if I'll be able to share them all on here very easily. So here's my colors, kind of washed out, and I'm afraid of them falling off. I am not going to be able to show these all in one go. So here's 5 of the colors on my fabric. And here's 4 more. The blues and greens and gray. So that's kind of a rough show there. But I'm excited about that. I'm excited about using all of these colors on this piece, and I won't start it until January 1st at least. If I'm making a personal new start on January 1st, I may start this on another day in January, but we'll see. And because it's all kitted up in this project bag, I may end up taking it with me on a travel piece sometimes too. So we'll see about that, in addition to my temperature tree, which I'll be doing next year. And maybe Ink Circles Tapestry, that I have a Mill Hill kit I want to start, so there's a lot of things I could do for travel stitching next year. I'm going to go ahead and share my temperature pieces first, because again, like it has happened some other times, one of my pieces for my Enchanted Stitching Challenge was used for both weeks, so I'll show that once in the middle, and rather than showing this week's and then my travel stitching and then next week's, I'll do that all together. So I'll do travel stitching first. I've been working on my quilt and my balloons. Here's the mock-up for the quilt. I've really wanted to get this caught up, and so yesterday I spent some extra time at home working on it. So here is what that looked like last week, and here it is now. And I'm very excited. I'm almost done with October. I got most of these all filled in. I still have a few gaps down here. And I have one gap up here in November, and I definitely need to work on the sashing up here. But I was focusing really hard on getting October finished, so I went ahead and just started the first couple blocks of November because I was using those colors over here anyways. They were already on my needle. So I just went ahead with it. So I'm very excited about that. I'm super happy to get this more cut up because I think it'll be more fun when it's current. But as you can see, our evenings are getting cooler again because during the summer months, you know, it was a lot more warm at night, but now we're having a lot cooler evenings. Even though there are still some warm days, the evenings are cool off, and that's definitely a sign of fall around here. Even some up in the 40s, down into the 40s, the purple colors there. So, which is cold for us. I know that's not cold for some of you other places in the world that have already had snow. But that's that, and I wasn't really able to get like amazing amounts of stitching done in the travel ballet lines. Like I was kind of, I had all these grand things of like, oh yeah, I'll totally get caught up and do all of the backgrounds and everything in just a week or two, and that's a little over ambitious. But spending extra time on it yesterday to help get it caught up again, I think is going to be useful, and then going forward, maybe I'll be more likely to be able to spend some time on the sashing and the blocks more regularly in the travel line. So my other one is my balloons, which is currently not caught up because I was spending so much time working on my quilt, but I did do some of it. This is my balloons. Here's what it looked like last week, and here it is now. I did have it caught up at one point, and then I started a little bit of this cloud, and then didn't have any more time that day, and then the next time I worked on it, I just worked on blocks, patches, so I didn't get any more done on this for the rest of the week. And now I can fill up the rest of this line and one over on here on this side. So at this point, so I'll probably work on this again during my phone call with my sister, because I really like working on that during my chats, my visits, because it's nice and easy stitching. And then if I make good enough progress on this during the phone call during my car time today, I'll work on my quilt some more. So I might get time on both of these today. So, but I'm excited to see those coming along. So my main stitching this week, what did I start with? I started with Heirloom Nativity Sampler, and that's the one I'm going to work on again next week, or this coming week. So I'm not sure if I should share it first or last. I guess I'll share it right now, because that's when I worked on it. So I worked on Heirloom Nativity Sampler for the Enchanted Stitching Challenge group on Facebook, which is Disney themed challenges. We had one last week of Nightmare Before Christmas challenges, and so from Monday through Thursday we had 4 prompts that we were going to do, and one of them was a red and white prompt. I honestly don't remember why it was red and white, but I worked in the shepherd scene on the cardinals and the white snow, and I already had the cardinals done before I showed it to you last time, because I started that after 9 p.m. on Sunday night, because the challenges start at midnight Eastern time, so that's 9 p.m. my time the day before. So where is it? So I had the little cardinals done before I filmed on Monday yesterday, but I did a lot more in the snow and was able to finish my challenge of 250-ish stitches. So this is what that looked like when you saw it last. And here it is now, with quite a bit of white finished, which is really nice. There's still more, of course. I think that's the bottom. There might be one more row of white below that. But I got all the little snowflakes done in the sky and the snow on the trees, so now I'm working on the snow on the ground. And let's see. What else did I want to say about this? I maybe go ahead and point out this coming week, the challenges just for a piece in general, and I'll share that later. So you don't have to work on anything specific in that particular prompt. So right here is a shepherd and one more sheep. There's a shepherd right here, and then lots of snow. And there are some, like, 2 more shades of green in the trees and the ground as well. So I'm hoping to get a good chunk done on this. I don't have any white on my needle, so I'll probably finish this sheep first to get this thread sorted out, and then maybe finish this shepherd and see where we'll go from there. I might move on to this shepherd or the green in the trees, so we'll see. I'm not sure exactly where I'll go. But I will work on that this week as well, because I would love to get that little scene done and move on to the specialty stitches underneath it before the end of the season. Let me show you that again. Because at the end of last Christmas, or the last time I worked on it previously, I got the angels and all the way down to here finished. So now I'm working on the shepherd scene, but I would also like to do these specialty stitch bands and the text and these specialty stitch bands. You know, a measure of these. That would be really nice to get this whole chunk done before the end of December. So that's a goal. Not sure if it'll happen, but that would be nice. So, then this is when things fell apart. I didn't have a lot of stitching time on various days this week. So I got out my Stitcher's Retreat, because this one was one that was cursed and needed to be frogged, or in timeout because it needed to be untangled or frogged for the prompt that it went with. And I had talked with some of you in the comments about moving on to other colors because that might be safer. But when I came out and looked at it, and I knew I needed to frog that section because I didn't want that section to be throwing me off in the future. I needed it right. So I knew that was having to come out. I wasn't sure I was going to actually take it out right now. I thought maybe I'll just pick another color and do that. But every time I looked for whichever color I would start next or work on next, I just kept feeling like I was letting this piece down in my goal to do extreme cross country and wanting to do that on one piece, and knew it was possible to do. I just needed to get over the hurdle of frogging the old stuff and fixing it. So I decided to go ahead and take it out, take out the stuff that I had done wrong, but because of that, I didn't have time to put in new stitches. So I took out some things, and then I thought, well, I'll go ahead and put a few stitches on another piece, but by then it was late on Halloween, and I realized it was actually just after 9, so all the challenges were over. So I didn't have time to do any more challenges. I only got one challenge done in that first 4 days, and that was on my heirloom nativity sampler. But I did get other things accomplished. I went ahead and finished this frogging. I did it more on Saturday as well. So this is what it looked like last time. And here it is now. So there was a stitch like right around here, which was directly below this one, and it should have been one off, down a certain amount and one over. And so because that one was off, this whole chunk was one to whichever direction I had it wrong, one stitch off. So that's all gone now and ready to be fixed. And I have a question for you guys. I was going to ask you this. I know the new app, Pattern Keeper, is like amazing, and you can move from page to page seamlessly without page lines, which is really helpful on a project of this nature. I do not have Pattern Keeper, nor can I get it because I don't have any non-Apple devices with which to use it on. So until they come out with an Apple iOS version, I'm kind of up a creek. But I did have a question for somebody who already has this pattern, because I know it was a freebie on the Heaven and Earth website and it's no longer available. So if somebody already has it and also has Pattern Keeper, I was curious if I could send you the stitch count of where I cropped it to and provide me a list of like the colors and their stitch numbers, how many stitches per color from just my cropped area, because I chose, I think 3371 is the color I chose because that's the color that's used the most in the whole design on the list that Heaven and Earth gives you. I don't know if it's the most common color in the chunk that I'm using. So I'm curious, going forward it would be nice to, even if I finish out this color now, it'd be nice to either go least to greatest, greatest to least, whatever, to have that information for just my cropped section, because I'm cropping it significantly. So this is my version. I'm just doing this middle section. So I don't know if Pattern Keeper is able to do that. If it will give you, like, maybe if you like block out, because I cropped on the page lines, so it's pretty easy to just say this whole page is finished, you know. So if I don't know if that's how somebody could do it, where you say that those pages are complete, and then whichever ones are left, then have the amount of stitches per thread color. And all I would want is the list of the thread colors with the amount of stitches for my little section. So if anybody could help me out with that, that would be great, because it's not something, and you're not sharing the chart. I already have the chart, I just don't have Pattern Keeper. And eventually that would be a wonderful, like, I would love to do this pattern on Pattern Keeper. So I'm hoping that before too long, they'll come out with an iOS version and I can get that. But in the meantime, if somebody has this pattern already and could maybe give me a list, of how many stitches per color. That would be really nice. And if not, that's fine. I'll just wait. But it'll take me a while to finish 3371 anyways. So, but I thought I'd throw that out there. Okay, so the other thing I worked on, even though it was after 9 p.m., I wanted to work on End of the Ball a little bit, and I still wanted to finish it. So I ended up getting like 100 stitches, 100 half stitches finished up here, and then I think it's maybe coming down here, now that I look at this cover picture. Because it was a more of a warm brown, so maybe I'm coming down below the curtain. That'd be exciting. I got 100 half stitches finished and stopped, but then the next day I think I went ahead and finished my string. Because I really wanted to just have the string done and put some actual more attention into that one, even though it wasn't going to count for any points. So this is what this looked like last week. And this is on 24 count Congress cloth, 2/1 half stitches. And here it is now. And you'll see this is it's a blend of like a warm rusty brown and like a darker brown. So that actually might be that start of the underneath the curtain. So that's really, because there was a lot of it down here. So that's really fun to actually know that. Because a lot of these colors up here would have been onesies and twosies, and I just wanted to get a color that had lots of back and forth, be easier to make progress faster, so that's what I did. So this is one strand of that blend right there. And I do enjoy this. I think I will enjoy, picking it for new things and watching it come alive. So it was just a busy week, not a lot of stitching time at the beginning of the week. But, however, that all changed on Friday. So Friday, I don't need that anymore, was November 1st. And so the official end of October challenge was over. So supposedly the Nightmare Before Christmas challenge was over. However, because there's only 3 days left in the week that were officially November dates, they decided to do a fun little pop-up challenge where the bad guy in Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie Boogie, took over and wanted Halloween to keep going and was going to keep the challenge going into November for those next 3 days. So what you had to work on is something related to that character. So some of the prompts that were suggested were gambling or bugs. I thought about, in the picture they showed, he looked kind of green. So I thought about using green, but most people were doing gambling or bugs because those were the suggested things. So I figured I'd go ahead and just stick with that. This touchdown piece was one I was planning to do for a gambling prompt related to him in October, but I didn't get to it. So when that new pop-up challenge happened with a similar prompt, I figured, well, this is my chance to still get some time on this. That prompt was every 50 stitches or every half hour gives you 1 point, so, with no limit. So just stitch as much as you can on, or as much as you want to in the 3 days of the challenge, and you get a point for every 50 stitches or every half hour. And so I thought, well, that'll give me a good opportunity to work on this. I thought about doing green because then I could do my Villa Mirabilia planter, which has a lot of green. But I didn't want to necessarily, because all the other challenges, all the other people in the challenge were not, I didn't see anybody else use green as a thing, so maybe he's not really green, maybe he's like yellow or glow in the dark or something, I don't know. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and stick with this. And I'm really excited that I did because I got a lot of progress. So, I worked on it a little bit during the day on Friday. My younger two were home from school, but my junior higher was still in school, and this is for him. And so when he came home, I had already done a decent amount on it, and then I asked him, because I was starting to doubt. On the cover, the original, there's a box around everything, almost everything. And we kind of both previously thought that was kind of lame and we didn't like it. And I just wouldn't do it. And he was, yeah, don't do it. Because he didn't, especially over here, he didn't like it. But the more I do this character down here, he's cut off by this box. Especially his arm and his leg, and his shoe will be very, very boxed, cut off at a box angle right there. And then this character is bursting out of this square because he's coming out here, here, and here, whereas this character is inside, like it's almost like it's a window, and this one is bursting through the window. So because I've been working down here on this guy, I thought it's gonna look really bad if I don't have this frame, because then you're like, why is this guy sitting down here all chopped up when this guy has pieces that are not chopped up, So I went ahead and talked to him after he got home from school, and I said, I'm doing my color conversion, so this guy's blue and orange now, and this line is blue, this is blue, so I thought, do you want blue, do you want orange, what should we do for this, because I think we probably need it. And he was like, well, can we do green? And I thought, well, sure, we can do green. And eventually, his favorite color is green, but eventually it came out that because the helmet that I am doing is blue, he didn't want blue, because then it would blend into the helmet, which I was like, well, there, good thinking on that one. And then I guess orange would have been too out there, I guess, too bright. So we chose green, and he prefers dark green over a light green, and then he ended up going with one. I pulled flosses, DMC flosses and fancy flosses, and laid them all out, and he picked his favorite. And he kind of picked one based on what a football field might look like. And so this is what it looked like before, and here it is now. I'm trying to get the actual blue fabric to show up there for you. And so he picked this nice dark green. It is a Victorian motto. It's not super variegated, but I did it one square at a time just in case there's any alterations. It's from the Eliza Bell Cox pack that she made a year or two ago that I'm not doing the sampler, but I wanted the threads. So it's Eliza Bell Cox 986 or something like that. And so that's how far I got. So a lot of the stitches I got were from this box, which the stitch count was just super rapid. It went so fast. So I finished my string here, got a few rows done in his pants because that was already on my needle. I did his arm, which he didn't have before, and then I did all of this box. And I was gonna start doing a little bit more in his jersey. You can see some light gray I put in there. I got like 9 stitches on Sunday, and then, no, Saturday night. But then my husband and I decided we would watch a 2-hour movie instead of a 1-hour show before bed because of the time change and take advantage of that to have the extra hour and do something with it. So I didn't get any more time that day to stitch. So, and then when Sunday rolled around, I decided I want to work on my temperature quilt and get that caught up. So I ended up working on this almost exclusively on Friday and still got 554 stitches, which was 11 points. However, because there was a pop-up wheel thing on Saturday night, I think, of people who chose, one of the admins spun some wheels and flipped some coins, and it turned out that people who chose gambling to link their project to Oogie Boogie lost a point. And so I earned 11 points, but only 10 points are credited to my team, which is fine. So I thought that was fun. I'm really excited about the progress I made on that. And it makes it feel like there's less to do now that we have the box there, because it's like you have a finite amount of space left to fill up, whereas before you kind of just yawned this open empty space and you weren't really sure how much more you had left to stitch. There's still a lot to do, but it kind of gives it a feeling of more completeness, and there's not, like, there's a little bit less daunting of a task to finish it, so that's kind of good. I doubt I'll finish it this year. I had thought about, I'm not a part of the Stitch 9 challenge from Farm Girl, but I have eight finishes in 2019. So not counting page finishes, I have finished 8 projects. And so I'm kind of thinking maybe I should try to finish one more thing before the end of the year just to make that nice 9 number for 2009. But I don't know what I would do that's close enough to a finish. So I might have to take a look at that some more. But that one may be close enough to do. I'm not sure. I was just taking a look at my sheet here, but I don't think anything else is close enough to call it. And I have page finishes, so I don't know if that counts, but that's not an even number of 9. I think it's like, you know, I don't know, 12 or something. I could maybe finish my H-Fairy too. That's something that is somewhat close. So maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll try to finish her. I think she's probably closer than Touchdown. So that would be fun. If I could finish one more thing before the end of the year, and then I could have 9 actual finishes in 2009, which is not a goal I originally had, but since I'm so close, I might as well try for it. So going forward into this coming week, we are now into a new movie for the month of November, which is going to be Coco, which is the movie about the Day of the Dead. I forget what the Spanish... De los Muertos. I forget what the... Dios de los Muertos? I don't remember. Anyways, where the little boy kind of goes to contact some of his dead relatives to help him in life. So if you haven't seen that movie, I don't want to give things away, but I have seen this one. So that's a good thing. It'll be fun to like track along with the movie with a little bit more knowledge this time. So that'll be fun. So the first prompt was his mom had to learn to make shoes, a new skill, in order to support the family. And so what's a piece that has a new skill for you before, like, that you hadn't done before you started that project? And so originally I was thinking of doing my heirloom nativity sampler because it has heart hanger, which I've never done before. So this will be my first heart hanger. But I'm using this for a different prompt. So I guess I can share that now. This prompt is for something forbidden, and you had to, because music was forbidden in his family. And so they said choose something that's forbidden in your family and then stitch on something related to that. And I was having a really hard time figuring it out. But there was another group member who chose Christmas decorations, Christmas music is forbidden in their family until after Thanksgiving. And so that's totally our family too. We are not decorators or Christmas music listeners until Thanksgiving is over. We enjoy the Thanksgiving season fully. And so the day after Thanksgiving is when all that Christmas stuff can start. So I use this as my Christmas piece to go along with that forbidden thing. So I could have used it for both prompts and gotten, you know, more time on it, which I was really tempted to do. But this other piece was also calling to me. So I thought I'd go ahead and do separate pieces. So this is the Twisted Band Sampler by the Northern Expressions Needleworks, and I worked on this last month, I think, for a prompt as well. And so I'm in here finishing these flowers, but a lot of the specialty stitches are new to me. I haven't done these specific stitches before. So that's how this is a new technique, new skills for me. So this is where this is at now on Called For Fabric 32 count bisque linen by Lakeside Needlecraft, not Lakeside Needlecraft, Lakeside Linens. And I'm using the DMC conversion that's in the pattern. So last time I worked on this for a prompt, 250 stitches got me like this much. So I could very well finish this band of cross stitches for this prompt. So I'm hoping that can happen. and maybe even start the band of actual specialty stitches. So that would be super fun if I get there. So that's what I'm going to work on for that first prompt of a new skill. And then I'll do Heirloom Nativity Sampler for something that's forbidden. And then, while I roll this up, the next prompt was something related to family, because this movie is a lot about family. And I still need to work on my husband's piece, which I would normally have done on the first. So that one relates to family. So I thought, well, perfect, I'll work on that one. So that's my husband's piece, which is the family of Simpsons. So they are a family. And I'm also making it for my husband, who is family. So this works for this. Again, this is a half stitch piece. So I may only have my goal be 100 half stitches, so we'll see how that goes. If I try for 500 or just stick with 100. We'll wait and see on the time I have. So this is where it's at now. I don't have anything on my needle right now. It's easy to get stitches quickly in her hair and in the skin, so that's always an option, but I do think I want to get some more details in her face to help her look a little bit more human. Her eyes, like the dots in her eyes, there's several colors. It's a little bit, these were only like 1 or 2 colors to make him look like he had eyes. Hers are a little more complicated, so, but I may try to get her some more facial details. As well as maybe pick a string and do a string of a solid color as well. So we'll have to wait and see how my time is going on that one. But I'll work on that for family. And then the last challenge was a pet, because the little boy in Miguel, I think, he's friends with the street dog, which is the closest thing he has to a pet. So work on something with the pet. And I thought about working on Cherry Kitten again, which I've worked on before for one of these challenges. But then, for some reason, this one was just calling to me, so I thought, I'll pull this out again. Because these fluffy kitties look like lovely pets. So this is Friends of the Library. It's a needlepoint kit, but it's basically just a half cross-stitch design on canvas. So it should work for being able to count stitches. And I'm stitching from the bottom up, which is not what I would normally do, but when I started this piece, I started on the book like a decade and a half ago. I don't even know when. I probably started this in high school or college. It's got all the yarn, that's the word, that I need for this. So I'm at the bottom. So I may start in on this section where the kitty is and maybe work up into the kitty, because then I could actually work on the pet. You don't have to in this prompt. It did just, the pet had to be in it, but I might do that. So we'll see. I have some string on my needle already, so I'll probably at least finish that out. And this is painted on the canvas already. I have this color on my needle, so I'll at least finish that up, and then I'll do some more in this area probably, to try to work from the bottom up. So that's the whole thing. And these are Continental 10 stitches. So that's my starting point on that one. And I think that's all my stitching plans. So I thought I would share my chart of all the things that I worked on in October. So I worked on a decent amount of my projects in October. And yeah, tea and cakes is actually crossed out now, because I finished that. So that's fun. One down. So there's my thing for my tracker for October. And then what I know a lot of you are waiting for is the giveaway that I have had open. Let me show you. It's for any of my temperature patterns in a PDF form, but the one I'm showcasing now is my new release of the temperature tree, which will be out, is already out in my shop, but I released it 2 weeks ago and had a giveaway for people to either win that one or if they prefer a different of the temperature pieces. So this was fun. I had 241 people enter, so there's lots and lots of pages of names that I just wrote names down. I didn't keep comments with names because that would have been taken too much time, but I had asked people to share either a memory about trees or a favorite tree. Some people combined them and did both. Whenever somebody mentioned a specific type of tree, I tallied them up because I thought that was really fun. So after the giveaway is over and I say goodbye, I'm going to have a little slideshow of the top 10 places of trees. Not places, like some of them were tied, you know. So if something was tied, it all lumped into that place. So Weeping Willow was first, Maple was second, and then the tied for third, Oak and Pine. But there were a lot of other ones, so I was wanting to do all of the trees in the top 10 slots. I guess it's maybe a better spot because it's not a location. Top 10 slots of favorite trees. And so all the way down to trees that had at least 3 people that said that tree. So I thought I would share just pictures I found from Google, and I'll like do a little slideshow with the name at the bottom saying what the tree is. Because I thought that would be really fun. There were so many different kinds. So this is a really fun thing. So I thought I would, if you don't care about it, once the trees start, that's the rest of the video. So if you don't want that, you can just stop at that point. But I thought I would share that for those of you that might be interested. So I will do the drawing now, and I'm going to pick 3 names. So I pulled up, oh yeah, I gotta make this less bright so you can see it. So there's my random number generator on my phone. So I'm going to change it to 241. So our first winner is 24, way back at the beginning. Julie Gomery is number 24. So there you are, Julie, and I'll mark this. So congratulations. So let's do another one. 69, which is on the next page. And that's Stephanie Leslie, right there. So congratulations, Stephanie. Circle you too. And then our third winner is 192, which is on yet another page. Oh, here at the really bottom. Amber E. So congratulations, Amber. We've got those 3 winners. So if you want to let me know your email address, I can just email you your temperature pattern. So my email is, I'll probably maybe put it on the link on the here, and I'll also maybe put it below, stitchinmommy7@gmail, and you can email me there, or you can direct message me in Etsy or on Instagram or one of those places and let me know your email address, and I'll get that sent out to you. So yay, congratulations. So that was fun. I really enjoyed keeping track of those. And so if you like trees just as much as I do, anything in nature really is pretty, feel free to stick around, and I'll have a slideshow of the top several trees. And I figured it would take too long to do every tree because I'm trying to find pictures for everything. I do have a life that I need to get back to, but I thought I would do some of the top trees that you guys enjoyed, and I'll share those with you after this. So in the meantime, enjoy your stitching and whatever you're working on right now. Have a wonderful November, and here's my new, I switched those out, and happy stitching. Bye.